Thin slicing the S-bend, part 1. Here I've made a U-bend, and you can see I've got the rails up off the ground so the horse doesn't automatically think, oh, I just have to step over those. It's about 1 meter wide, and I've got a nice rounded thing for the horse to go around so that he doesn't hurt himself at first. And eventually this is what we like. We like to be able to walk up, send the horse around that, and he flexes himself around the corner. And either gets a click and a treat as we use, or you can just give him relaxing time. Now this is as much horizontal flexion as my horses tend to do. It's not something they do often, so we need to take them to the gym. This is a 180-degree draw. So our gym equipment here is a barrel, and I draw the horse around with me. And it's important to keep the body language active as you go around, like almost a marching step, so that the horse understands that that's what you want. You can see I sort of lean away from him and ask him to come around. So I'm leaning away from him a little bit, keep my legs going, and the horse swings himself around. Then you can do the 180-degree drive, which horses find a little bit harder, and you're on the outside circle, so you need to work on where your position is. So you are driving the horse around that circle. And you can see he's taking a much bigger U-turn there. He's not doing it very tightly yet, but that'll come with practice. That was better already. Now you can get into the situation where you get out of position or you stall out like we did there. And here I think I'm a little bit too far ahead, and here's what happens. Smokey says, oh, and then I said, no, we're going this way, and he says, oh, maybe we're not. So it's very important to actually experiment to see where you need to be clear for the horse. And of course, if you do it in one direction, you've got to change to the horse's other side and do it in the other direction. So now I'm on his right side, and he finds that quite difficult, but he comes around and he's doing quite a nice tight turn now. The send around the bend. Instead of going around with the horse, you indicate by sending him forward and then walk away with him. If you walk away with your back to him, they'll tend to swing around and join up with you. Then we're going to send through the U-bend. This is his left-hand turn, and I walk up a little bit with him to make sure he understands I want him to go around. And again, just a little bit of relaxation each time, or a click and a treat. I'm going in with him still, and he stalled out. So I just say, please walk on. You can see he's making a bit of a meal of coming around there. So we haven't got the fluidity part yet. Now I try to not walk in quite so far. Send him round, and he did a much better job that time. And a click and a treat. I'm going to try and not walk in so far, send him further. So I stay right outside that white container, send him right around, and he's done a good job. That's probably about 10 feet that he's moving. Now I'm going to change from one side to the other, so I send the horse around in front of me, ask him to hide his hind end, and bring his front end around. Now I'm on the horse's right side, and we do the same thing, but I've changed the parameter, so I walk up the lane with him and ask him to come around. Usually your horse will find one side much harder, and you've got to work more on that side. I'm still walking part way up the lane and asking him to come around. Did that very nicely. I'm going to try not to go so far up the lane. Send him from further away. Still going a little way up. Ask him to come around, and you can see he's negotiating that U-bend quite nicely. Finally, I stay right outside it, send him all the way around by himself, and come back. And that's pretty good. Happy with that.